Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So the inspiration for this particular podcast episode came to me when I was journaling after a meditation before I went to bed last night. Which is this, which is you belong in the light. You belong in the light. You know, life can be difficult, right? Challenges. All sorts of stuff that we're healing through that we don't even know is there for us to heal through. Times where we feel like nothing is working and we don't feel seen and we don't feel heard, and you're just like, can life please stop kicking me in the ass right now? Can that be something we can consider? Can I just get a break? My plate is so full. Can I just take a breath? Let me just complete what I got before I move on. But that's kind of not the way it often works, right? And there are times when we are just such a place of like problems and upheaval and darkness, you know, that as much as that's okay to be in that space, and that has purpose and is serving you on some level, and that has things for you to see in it, there also becomes a time when we stay in that place, when we choose to keep retelling the same stories, when we choose to stay in the drama of it all, when we choose to be in blame and guilt and resentment and jealousy and fear and anxiety and panic and sadness, and, you know, we could go on, right? We will just keep getting more of that. It literally is a message from the universe saying, oh, okay, cool, more of that. That's what you're focusing on so much of. This is really how the law of attraction works, by the way. This is really what you're focusing so much of. Your thoughts, your emotions are all boiled up on this stuff. You're going to keep getting delivered the stuff that you primarily focus on. It doesn't mean you can't heal through wounds. It doesn't mean that you can't ever have a negative thought. That's just silly, right? Of course. There's time and space between, you know, when you have a thought, when you feel things, and that manifestation through the law of attraction. But it's not going to be like an instant, right? And the reason that is built in that way, and a lot of stuff I'm studying right now and getting deeper into a lot of these things, is because you need to have that little bit of time and space to course correct, maybe, right? Like, it can't be that immediate. That's just silly. But when you primarily focus on the things that you don't want in your life, the problems that you have, the challenges that are there, the places where you feel stuck, then with so much love and compassion, sister, and because I speak this from not just a knowing from what I'm studying and learning more, getting into this, what I observe with my clients, but what I've observed with myself over the years, my 50 years here on the planet, you know. It doesn't matter how much that we know. What matters, I mean, it does matter, but what matters mostly is where are we placing our thoughts? Where are we placing our emotions? Do we feel like we are not deserving of beauty in our life, of abundance, of prosperity? And I know you're just going to hear that as dollars, but not just that. There's abundance when it comes to money, yes, when it comes to love, when it comes to health, when it comes to time, like feeling like you are not enough, or feeling like nobody gets you, and feeling misunderstood. Listen, the feeling of being misunderstood I had for decades, from stuff that I went through growing up as a kid. Decades. And no wonder people kept misunderstanding me, as I literally put that vibration, that frequency out. Nobody's going to get me. And then guess what then happens? Then your actions will line up with that primary belief that you're putting all your stake in. You're putting it all on. You're like at the roulette table. Put it all on red 49. And you keep getting more of that again and again. And you're like, why does all this shit keep happening to me? And in all of this is not a spiritual slap for you doing things wrong, quote unquote. Please don't perceive it that way. That is not what this is. This is an understanding and awareness. And with the foundational piece of this, sister, being, I want you to know that you belong in the light. That is our default. That's our factory setting. right? When I was a chiropractor, we were in practice at an office, chiropractic office in St. Albert, Alberta, where we used to live for 14 years, and loved chiropractic and never saw myself moving out of the profession, like ever, like literally, like I will be in my practice on the day that I take my last breath. Like that's it. Like there's a mission to chiropractic that a lot of chiropractors feel that is of such great service and a piece of who we are. I never saw that, but life takes you in different directions, and what I was really feeling inside of me brought me to here. And if you've been following the podcast for a while, that has now been out for a little bit over 4 years, 4.5 almost, then you'll have seen this journey along the way. But coming back to this is the defining understanding that we are designed to have joy in our days. We are designed to feel good. We are here on the planet to not only feel good, do good, be good, this is who we are. And I think when we've been through a lot of different experiences in life, things that have shaped us, things that we can choose to continue to shape us, the things that people have said out of their own wounds, of literally everybody just doing their best, our parents doing their best, the grandparent that, I remember my grandfather, like literally I can remember this, I can watch this like it's a movie I'm watching in my head, except I'm in it, where I can remember sitting on my grandfather's lap. It was probably like, I don't know, maybe 7 years old, 6 years old. That time you still kind of have like that little Buddha belly as a kid, right? Being in a one-piece bathing suit. It was this bizarre bathing suit, actually. It was like beigey color with like some Eiffel Tower on it, something French. I don't know what it was, but... And my grandfather and he was a loving man, poking at my belly and kind of making some reference, not to me being fat, and I was never a fat kid. It was just, that time when you just have that little belly as a kid. Like, you just have that. Like, our 6-year-old boy still has that little belly, right? That's just normal. And I remember him poking at it, but there was some kind of a reference to, like, that's not okay. That it literally changed the way I began to see myself. Now, is my grandfather, because he's passed away years ago, was he a horrible human? No, of course not. He was just doing his best. He didn't know anything of it. But it's these experiences, little things like that, or something as horrific as being, abused or just hurt in some way, or seeing things that you witnessed as a child that, like, it's hard to move through these things, but it is possible. It is possible to move through all this. And I had a reference, I had an analogy to being in a practice, and I went way off on a tangent. Big surprise. Karen goes there sometimes, if not often. Okay, let me come back to that. So we were talking about being I got it. Okay. Our factory default setting, right? When we were in practice, we would say to people, like, literally, we come into the world healthy. Like, that is our default setting, is to move towards wellness, is to move towards health. We've been programmed to believe, with a lot of the conditioning of how we see health in North America, that we're sick, right? We're sick from the get-go. Like, we got to do things to the babies. We got to do things during pregnancy. We got to test for all these things. Like, we got to look for disease versus focusing on wellness and health. And so let's use that same analogy when it comes into who we are and the essence of us, which is being in the light. You are deserving of being in the light. You're enough as you are. Forgive yourself. Forgive others for the things that you have done or said, and the things that have been done and said to you. There is of no use to continue to hold on to all these things that keep you in the dark. If you have done some of the work to move forward, a lot of the work that I do with my clients at a very deep level. Because by all means, there is some stuff in those dark spaces that are important for us to see and to explore and to uncover. We often are so afraid of that, right? That we resist it. We feel those feelings. We want to push them away. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to. Well, eventually you're going to hit a wall at some point in your life. I'm telling you right now. Things will come crashing down. Did for me like 1.5 years ago, just literally waking up the next day and like, who the fuck am I? What is this? What is that? You will be nudged, pushed, thrown into a spiritual awakening that you will have the opportunity at that time to actually to go through, or you can keep resisting it. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But underneath all of this, in the darkest of dark times, because I know it's not easy, when you go through the experiences like I did, really like a midlife, we're going to call it like midlife crisis, right? I used to refer to it as the breakdown. My friends like spiritual awakening, which is really what that is. Combine that with menopause as well too. That it is a painful journey to go through. It is not for the faint of heart. It is terrifying on days. If you were there right now, sister, like, I see you. I see you. I see you. I really fucking see you. I get it. However, in the darkest of times, I want you to know that your default is to be in the light. Your default is to be in the light. And listen, we know this, right? This is going to sound like a cheesy thing, but like, without darkness, there is no light. There are these both sides to us. There is both sides to life. There is both sides to our experience. The only way we know light is if we have darkness. The only way we get to the light often is we have to experience what the dark is like. And that can take many different forms of challenges you've had in your life in the past, things you're experiencing right now, right? We don't know that without the other. So I don't want you to know that although you're designed to be in the light, that there will be those dark moments. There will be dark periods of time. But the dark is not where you're supposed to stay. The light is where you be. That you're designed to be in the light. And so hold on to that. Hold on to that knowing. Hold on to, if you need to, honestly, just blindly trust it. This is not a fake it till you make it kind of thing, but sometimes it's just, think of something really simple, right? Where you're like, I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like going to yoga class. I don't feel like doing this. And then you do actually do whatever, maybe exercise. I don't feel like going for a run. And then you get out and you do it and you're like, and then you kind of get into it, right? And then you're like, this is great. So think of it this way as well too. That knowing of that you were designed to be in the light, just hold that. Hold that. And as A Course in Miracles talks about, which Gabby Bernstein, I don't know if you read any of her books, I'm reading right now, Super Attractor, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. I've read 2 of her other books, and this is by far my favorite. She's incredible. But she's a big student of Course in Miracles. I read Course in Miracles last year with my good friend Jill. And she references this, which in the Course in Miracles, it talks about that miracles are in the light. Like, they come in the light. It is the little sprinkling of, it's almost like this. This is the analogy I'm kind of getting this coming through me right now. Like, like the story of Hansel and Gretel, right? And how there'd be like the little breadcrumbs, right, that are leading them. And so those miracles are like little breadcrumbs as you move closer and more in towards the light and more into knowing that this is where you are designed to actually be, is in the light. And the miracles are those little breadcrumbs along the way to show you. And we can open our eyes and see them and open our heart and feel them, and we can open our senses and experience them. Or we can shut them down and not even see them right in front of us. We can brush them off as coincidences and no big deal, or that was weird. Or we can realize that these are all signs and signals for us. It's something like a thumbs up, like, you got it, keep going. Yeah, we're rooting for you. Because you are designed to be in the light. You really, truly are. This is the place for you to be. Darkness happens, challenges happen. There are things for us to learn and grow and become through those experiences. But then once we actually allow ourselves to move through them, not around, not over, not under, not bypass it, no, move through them. And we come out the other side better, stronger, more grounded, becoming who we truly are, remembering who we truly are. The light is where you're meant to be. The light is where you're meant to be, sister. Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. We're going to do a journaling exercise as your more tip than today. Once you open up your journal and write at the top of it, I deserve to be in the light because, and then start writing. And I want you to write this in the affirmative, okay? I was reminded of this when I'm getting on the phone with a lot of women about my new 30 days online, 30 days one-on-one coaching program, which, by the way, if you'd like to apply, this is the 30-day one-on-one coaching program where you work with me directly. Everything is very private and confidential, where we are focusing exactly on what you want to create in 30 days, co-create that together, support of me on a weekly basis, and learning 4 specific tools over those 30 days designed on what you need. You know, I was on the phone with someone the other day, and they're like, well, how does it work? And I'm like, it depends on each woman. That's a really, really great question. But this is not a cookie cutter thing. Like, one-on-one coaching is like the upper echelon of being able to really move fastest, most efficiently to where you want to go, having that one-on-one support versus more tips are great. I'm going to keep doing these on the podcast. You can get a lot of value from this. I love you being here. This is a great conversation I do 2-3 times a week with you. But it's a very different format, right? Online programs, very different format. Group, very different format. Group coaching. One-on-one, it's like the fastest route for you to be able to move from where you are to where you want to be, from being in the place of crisis to, if you would like to apply for one of those spots, because there's only 9 left right now, you need to email me, drkarenosborne@gmail.com, okay? But back to this more tip then. At the top of the page to write, again, I deserve to be in the light because, and write it in the affirmative. Okay, don't say because I don't want to have this, and because I don't want to have these people treat me this way, and because I don't want to have this. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All the universe hears, the universe removes the word don't, and it just brings you more of the stuff you don't want, okay? So you need to flip it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're in a job that you're not happy in, right? As opposed to saying, I deserve to be in the light because I don't want to be treated like shit at my job, okay? No, we're going to put that one aside. Reframe that to be something like, I deserve to be in the light because I would love to be around coworkers that have a, similar purpose and joy and excitement to being in service and to being at work every day. I deserve to be in the light because I want to walk into my job and to feel fulfilled at the end of the day. I deserve to be in the light because I want to be excited to actually go to my job knowing I'm doing something with what I do and not just punching a clock or picking up a paycheck. I deserve to be in the light because my work matters to me and I want to be able to be in a place that appreciates my value and I'm able to express it and serve others. Do you see the difference in that? I don't want to be around coworkers that hate me. I don't want to be in something that's a soul-sucking job. No. This is why you just keep getting more of the shit you don't like, okay? It's gonna be like building a muscle. It's gonna take some time because your brain is so focused on what you don't want, okay? So make sure that when you do this more tip, this is very, very important. It is in the affirmative. I deserve to be in the light because, and list all of those things and just free flow write. Don't censor it. Don't stop it. Don't go, well, I don't know how that's going to happen. This is journaling. This is for you to start to really connect in with source, with you, to inspiration. Don't push it. Don't force it. It's just simply a journaling exercise. But you would be surprised at how many things begin to open up when you actually do these more tips and you do these things. So do that today, sister, okay? And I will talk to you on the next episode where a life of more really is one step away from realizing and understanding that you deserve to be in the light. Yeah, every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, Subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.